Today, we're coming to you from Westmeath, Ireland. We're staying at this little place for a few days, and we'll show you around the sights.
They call it the Emerald Isle, but seeing it from 30,000 feet, a screen just doesn't really do the colors justice. We're descending into Cork, Ireland. It's a place of history, legends, and for us, it's a realization of kind of a lifelong dream for my mom. Today, on Uncovering the Extraordinary, we visit Ireland. Different than our typical PitBoss and Blackstone griddle videos, but this one really is an amazing trip, and we just wanted to share it with you. This is going to show some history and some interesting sights around Ireland, a little bit about what we were doing there, but it's going to be primarily focused on the sights and the travel in Ireland. It was absolutely beautiful, and it was an amazing family trip that I don't think we would likely be able to do again. This was my sister, my brother, and I and our spouses that took Mom and Lisa over to Ireland. So 9 days, 9 people, one goal: give Mom the birthday celebration for her 80th that she's earned 100 times over in our lifetime. So with the first part of this trip, we decided to stay central in a little area called Westmeath, Ireland. It's kind of just a little to the east side of the central part of the country. This allowed us to drive all the way to the west coast for the Cliffs of Moher, to the east coast for Dublin, and all things in between. So stick around, let us show you the sights and the scenes in Ireland.
Sunrise over our little place we're staying in Westmeath, Ireland. Beautiful. Little yoga studio right next to it. Oh, we went ahead and rented this house. Really nice.
While driving around in Westmeath, we saw this in the distance. This was in a little area called Mullingar. It's about 5 miles or so from Westmeath. And as we saw this, we're like, we definitely have to go back, see what this is all about, and check out this place. It was absolutely amazing, and all we kept thinking was, wow, this is like an old castle or something that sort of degraded over time. So we went on over there, took some pictures as we walked up to it. It was absolutely amazing, and all I could think was, how cool that something like this is still standing after all these years. So we went in. Before you even step into the past, you're met by this sight. It's called the Spider Phaeton. It was sort of the high-performance sports car of the 19th century. It was built for speed and status. It was a bit of a fitting entrance for a place that was defined by both of those things. This was the home of Robert Rochfort, the first Earl of Belvedere, a man of immense wealth but an even greater jealousy. Legend says he locked his wife, Mary Molesworth, away for 31 years after accusing her of an affair with his own brother. But Robert's bitterness didn't stop with his wife. It extended to his other brother, George, who built a more palatial home nearby. Robert couldn't stand to look at it. His solution? This, the Jealous Wall. It was built in 1760. It was the largest folly in Ireland. It's a massive screen designed to look like a ruined abbey, built for only one purpose: to completely block the view of his brother's grander house on the hill. It is a monument to spite, standing taller and wider than many fortresses. It is really wild to just look at this and realize that this is nothing more than a screen to not see his brother's house. The sights really are amazing, even these old trees that were all crooked and wrangled.
Beautiful view out here. This is the yards. It looks right down toward the water. This is the Belvedere House, and when he built this in the 1700s, this was the jealous brother that built that wall so he couldn't see his brother's nicer, grander house. And the grounds out here at the Belvedere House are amazing. You see how beautiful it is. It's hard to get the scale, but if we zoom in, this is all waterfront as well. And waterfront's relative, given that this land goes all the way to that water.
It really was cool with the different lighting to just look from the front of the Belvedere House over to this jealous wall. It's such an odd thing. We were absolutely amazed by it and just kept walking around and looking at it from different angles. While this wall was built to hide a brother, the house itself was built to impress the world. It was constructed as a hunting lodge, and it sits as a masterpiece of neoclassical design. The house was closed in the off-season. It was still amazing to walk right up to it. You can see the difference in the black and white photo from history versus what it looks like now. walking from the front yard sort of up the steps is really amazing. It feels like a walk back in time. I wish we could have gone inside, but we weren't able to. But I did have to just walk up here as if I was entering. And as you stand on these front steps and then you turn around, the perspective changes completely. The heavy history of the rock forts fades a little bit into the beauty of these tiered gardens that flow on down to the shores of Lough Ennell. I think that's essentially Lake Ennell, but it was absolutely stunning and beautiful. Even in the off-season, the scale of these grounds is breathtaking. You can kind of imagine like the vibrant colors of the spring bloom against the silver Irish water. It was certainly a landscape designed for peace, even if the man who built it found none. And if you look closely at the perimeter, you'll see these deep trenches. They're known as ha-has. They serve as sort of invisible fences. They keep livestock and intruders out without ruining the seamless view of the estate. Security is disguised as art. Belvedere is certainly a place of dualities, incredible beauty on the outside and a cold, jealous heart within for Mr. Robert Rochford. From down here in the gardens looking up, it's easy to see why it remains one of Ireland's most hauntingly beautiful treasures. As we started to tour the grounds, we found this amazing carving of Robert Rochford. Again, he was the first Earl of Belvedere, the same man who built that jealous wall. He's sort of portrayed here in this stern, watchful pose with his sword, flanked by two owls, and seated on a bench that's actually part of the same trunk. So while there, we each decided to get a picture. Here's my sister and her husband, Randy. This is my brother, his wife, Cassie, and their son, Riker. And then, of course, Deb and I did the exact same thing. And, you know, Deb and I, we can't do anything without acting a little goofy in at least one of them. Leaving the shadows of the jealous wall behind, we stepped through a gateway into a completely different world. This is the Belvedere Walled Garden. It was designed in the mid-1800s, and this wasn't just a hobby, it was a feat of Victorian engineering. These high stone walls that surrounded the whole thing were built for privacy, but to create a microclimate, trapping the sun's warmth so they could grow exotic plants and fruits that would otherwise not survive the Irish chill. As you walk along the gravel paths, you're walking through a living library of botanical history. It's one of the finest collections of rare plants in the country of Ireland, and it's a place often defined by isolation and the walls that divided brothers. These walls were built to nurture life. It is the vibrant, breathing heart of this kind of estate, and we really enjoyed wandering through. It was a pleasant surprise if we didn't even know it was there.
The moss here is pretty crazy. Look at the moss on that roof. Isn't that cool? That this is beautiful in the springtime, this garden.
As we were walking through the garden, we heard Cassie yelling, "Come check this out!" And we walked through this little stone wall entrance into what they defined as the fairy garden. And here my mom is sitting there in the seat. We decided to get the whole family together and take this amazing picture. My mom in the middle and my brother and sister and their families. It was definitely cool. And then we did one with just my mom and her kids. So that's me, my sister Deb, and my brother Ryan. It was really neat to get these family photos at this point in this trip. But this was so beautiful. It was like just literally walking into a fairy garden. Here's Deb taking pictures of all kinds of things, and my mom standing behind what looked like some kind of little ghoul cavern. It was just really, really cool, and we enjoyed it. We spent a lot of time in there. Riker even playing on some swings we found in there. After this amazing trip at Belvedere, we decided to go back to the house that we rented in Westmeath. And the scenery is just gorgeous behind this place. These homes are rustic. There were some pictures of what the house looked like before they renovated it about 8 years ago. It was really cool. And after a fun day of driving and traveling, we went back to the house, had some tea and coffee, played some cards, and got ready to rest for another day and another trip. And just like that, the day is over. Tomorrow, we're going to drive into Dublin, and we're going to go check out a whiskey tour and some scenes around Dublin. Stay tuned.
Thank you.